The Niners could very well upset the Green Bay Packers because 49ers rushing attack. If you stop Deebo Samuel, who's rushing, don't forget he can pass on trick plays, but don't forget his receiving. Welcome to episode 35 of Everything Sports with Aman. I'm your host, Aman Carney, and I talk about the hottest topics over the course of the past week. And in today's episode, it's just going to be another NFL episode. This time, I'm going to be talking about the NFL Divisional Playoffs. They're coming up tomorrow and Sunday. We've got big games everywhere. First, we got the Bengals versus the Titans for the first game on Saturday. Then in the evening game, the one I'm looking forward to the most, the Niners and Packers. Then Sunday, we got the Rams Buccaneers and then the Bills Chiefs. But before I continue, remember, new episodes Mondays and Fridays. And Evan Garber is going to be coming on as a co-host anytime soon. Don't forget about that new schedule. But without further ado, let's get it started. I'm going to go in the order of most or least interesting to most interesting. So that way it adds suspense because the title of this episode applies to the Packers and Niners game. Without further ado, Bengals versus Titans. I'm eager to see how Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase perform once again, because Joe Burrow is my most improved player, Jamar Chase is my offensive rookie of the year, and Zach Taylor is my coach of the year. You have those three individuals on the same team in an NFL divisional game against the Tennessee Titans with Derrick Henry back. And you got to remember, Derrick Henry has been out a portion of the season, has had maybe surgery. I'm not too sure about the surgery part, but he's been out for a while. But nonetheless, he is the scariest player in the league, in my opinion, to play against. Because right when you are next to him, he is going to flatten you and make you a part of that football field, if you know what I mean. He will stiff arm you out of the stadium, make a highlight reel out of you and your team. So if you stop the rush, then you are in pretty good position, because Derrick Henry is the reason why most teams lose to the Tennessee Titans. Because, what I'm trying to say is, stop Derrick Henry, then you most likely win the game. Your goal is to make Ryan Tannehill beat you. I'm not saying Ryan Tannehill is a bad quarterback. I'm just saying that you'd rather have Ryan Tannehill have a decent game and beat you, but that's because you would have been successful on your job, because you would have contained Derrick Henry. And obviously, yes, you have to guard the offense and everything else. If you stop the rush, you're in really good position, assuming your offense plays like how it's always been playing. But you never know. Many more crazier things have happened, and man, it's going to be so crazy if the Bengals beat the Titans. Bengals are now the dark horse team of the AFC now that the Raiders are knocked out. Bengals could beat the Titans. Many people are sleeping on the Titans, and Derrick Henry's coming back full strength. Maybe not full strength, but it's crazy. It is crazy, man, how Derrick Henry is still one of the league leaders in the league in terms of rushing yards. Like, how was that possible? Man missed half a season. So, contain Derrick Henry, and you most likely win the game. That is by far the main thing the Bengals defense has to game plan for. Rams, Buccaneers. I'm feeling like the Buccaneers are pretty vulnerable. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, health is a question with them, but I think anything can happen here. Like, we look at my NFC predictions. I did choose the Buccaneers, but I still think there's a good chance that the Rams might knock off the Buccaneers. I expected Buccaneers to play better against the Eagles, even though they'd win by 16 points in a not so entertaining game. But I still expected more from Brady. He was throwing. I mean, it was a combination of the receivers dropping passes, some inaccurate throws, but the Rams, man, if the defense plays at their potential, and my God, their defense is suffocating, they could potentially make it to the Super Bowl. They are a Super Bowl team. They got Von Miller, they got Aaron Donald, they got Jalen Ramsey on this defense. And then you got Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr. Like, the LA Rams are playing Madden in real life. And when you're playing Madden in real life, theoretically, you're a Super Bowl team. But now we look at the remaining teams. Bengals 10-7. They could have been an 11, 12, maybe 13. 13 is stretching it. They could have been an 11, 12 win team. Chiefs or the Titans struggled a little bit when Derrick Henry first went out. They could have won a couple more games. The Chiefs, we knew their early season struggles. The Bills, though, they had a huge opportunity to get a bye. Similar to the Patriots, who are 9-4, top of the AFC. You don't know how the playoffs would look like right now had the Patriots gotten a bye. Because that bye week, they went 1-3 after that bye week. Like, wow. So I mentioned the Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Titans, and now the NFC. Packers. I feel like Packers have been the most consistent team through the regular season, which is why I'm choosing them to make it all the way and win it all. But the Niners, they had their losing streak. Buccaneers, unhealthy, still unhealthy. Had some losing streaks, but the Rams. I feel like this is the Rams game to lose more than it is about the Bucks, because Tom Brady's been there, done that, won every single award you can think of for a quarterback, greatest of all time in football. I don't think anyone can argue that, because when you're 7-3 in the Super Bowl, you're doing something right. But Tom Brady, he can lose. His legacy is permanent. I don't think anything can tarnish his legacy unless, of course, he does dumb things off the field like Antonio Brown does. But that's not going to happen, because that's not who Aaron Rodgers is. I mean, not Aaron Rodgers. That's not who Tom Brady is. My bad. I confused two greats. That's not who Tom Brady is at all. So Tom Brady's legacy solidified no matter what. And now this is Matthew Stafford's game to lose. This is the LA Rams game to lose. This is Sean McVay's game to lose. I'm pointing out the obvious, but that's pointing out the significance of this Rams Buccaneers game. Because Matthew Stafford came from Detroit, a losing franchise, and not making many playoffs. Now you got the LA Rams, a way better team than the Detroit Lions. You scuffled a bit at the end of the season, just like many other teams have done, but you can't lose a game in the playoffs. It's not like basketball where it's a best of 7, not like hockey where it's best of 5, best of 7. It's not like baseball where it's like a series where you may be able to afford a game where you lose. It's not like that. Football, you win and you advance, or you lose and go home. That's what these single eliminations are. And any mistake, even minor mistakes in the game, like a receiver running the wrong route or just a little bit overthrown ball, that could be the reason why the team loses the game. So I think this is going to be a very interesting game, but it's definitely the LA Rams game to lose. And now we got my third most interesting game, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. And now I'm going to say right here that the Bills will beat the Chiefs. The only prediction I got wrong in the first round was the Bengals Raiders, where I talked a lot about Derek Carr and those Oakland Raiders. I will tell you that much. If you haven't, tune into last episode, or that was Monday's episode. Tune in to 2 episodes ago, episode 33, I believe, where I made my predictions, if I'm not mistaken, about the NFL wildcard weekend. But yeah, definitely go tune in there because a lot of crazy stuff happened in that episode. Yes, I can confirm episode 33. So go back to episode 33 if you want to hear my predictions for that, because I talked a lot about the Raiders, talked a lot of good about the Raiders. They lost. So you will see. I'm calling the Bills here this game. They absolutely bum rushed the Patriots out of their stadium. It was so crazy. But all the higher seeds ended up winning in the AFC. Obviously not the case in the NFC, but the Chiefs 42-21 against the Steelers. The Steelers were the Steelers and they snuck in the playoffs. I truly think if the Raiders, I think it would have been Raiders Chiefs or something like that if they tied with the Chargers. I don't know, but we could see Chargers Chiefs, Raiders Chiefs. Maybe it's a different story if I'm being honest. The Chiefs lucked out, put up 42 points on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then you got the Bills putting up 47. I'm going to say that, like, I remember a few years ago, the Rams Chiefs in USC Stadium when the Rams didn't have SoFi Stadium yet. Both teams put up like 50 points or something like that. It was very crazy game. I think it's going to be similar to that game. Yep, 54-51. The Rams won that game. November 19th, 2018. Possibly the greatest regular season game of all time. I think this is going to be a shootout. The Chiefs have had the best defense in the league, believe it or not, against the Bills offense. And then you got an amazing Bills defense against a great Chiefs offense. I really feel like this is going to be a massive shootout. Like a massive shootout. This might be the highest scoring playoff game we are ever going to see. I'm not kidding about that. Because you got Josh Allen throwing 5 touchdowns the last game. And then Patrick Mahomes going off against the Steelers. Like, the Chiefs scored 42 points in 3 quarters. It was 0-0 at the end of the Steelers-Chiefs game where everyone thought that, dang, the Chiefs might lose. But dang, we were so wrong. We were dead wrong. But I think it's going to be a shootout. I didn't put my score predictions for each game, but when I say shootout, I mean the Bills are going to, if I were to say higher or under 35 points, I would choose the high on the Bills. And then like higher under for 32, 33 points, I'd choose the Chiefs getting between 33 and 38 points. I'd say the Bills get between 39 and 45 points. It is going to be a shootout. Defense will be played. Turnovers will be made. But those crucial plays, like if any defense gets a fumble or interception, that's going to be the game difference. But nonetheless, even with an interception, even with the fumble, even with any turnover, even with any sack, even with any flags, This is going to be a massive shootout. A massive shootout. Let me state that again. Massive shootout between these high-powered offenses and high-powered defenses. But that is not the most interesting game of this weekend, or I should say the most entertaining one. The most entertaining one is the 49ers versus the Green Bay Packers. Why do I say that? This might be Aaron Rodgers' last game as a Green Bay Packer. The Packers are coming off a bye, and the bye weeks aren't always positive. We saw it with the Patriots. The Patriots, once upon a time, had a 9-4 record, sitting atop the AFC with the Week 1 bye in their pockets. And then it slipped out after the bye with the 1-3 record. So, anything could happen, man. This is what I think. Deebo Samuel is a monster. Like, if they had an NFL playoff MVP, Deebo Samuel is the guy. And I know the Rams game wasn't a playoff game, but dang, man, this guy is amazing. He threw for a touchdown. He rushed for a touchdown. He can catch for a touchdown. Like, this guy is a receiver, a running back, and a quarterback all in one. Like, this man is insane. He can do it all. Without Deebo, there's no San Francisco. Let me repeat that. Without Deebo, there's no San Francisco. Because, yes, they have Elijah Mitchell and everyone. You cannot take away, you cannot replace the production Deebo Samuel gives you. Like 80, 90 rushing yards. You can still get 100 receiving yards. You can get touchdowns in every single way possible. And not to mention, Fred Warner is playing against the Green Bay Packers. Nick Bosa clears concussion protocols. Those are two guys Aaron Rodgers does not want to see coming towards him. If the Niners pull off this upset, this is going to be amazing. And like I said, Brady's legacy is solidified no matter what. As much as I love Aaron Rodgers, I cannot say the same about him. He's won one Super Bowl, which was a while ago. So you have to take that into account. And then that one Super Bowl win, it was a while ago. It was the same year they won the NFC Championship. They're 1-4 in NFC Championships. Like, it's something Aaron Rodgers cannot get out of for some reason. Like, whether it's his defense just selling the game and not doing well, but you have to, like, give Aaron Rodgers some slack, in my opinion. But I'm saying that this is a huge legacy game for Aaron Rodgers. A huge one. I feel like this is going to have a negative impact on him. Because 2010 was the last time he won the Super Bowl against the Steelers. And actually, that was his one Super Bowl appearance. Made it to the NFC Championship in 2017. So let's go down the list. So 2010, Aaron Rodgers won his first Super Bowl. And then we go all the way down to his next NFC Championship appearance. The Packers, and then so the Packers against the Falcons, and then they lost to the Falcons in the NFC playoffs. In 2015, they lost to Seattle. And now they lost to Tampa most recently. They lost to San Francisco 20-37. Like, so many games, man, they lost. Aaron Rodgers has a 12-9 playoff record. This could make it 12-10 or 13-9 and make it to the NFC Championship if the Packers beat the Niners, and honestly, it's a big if, then I feel like Aaron Rodgers would rather see a struggling Tampa team and he gets his revenge on Tom Brady. I called the Packers in the Super Bowl, but the Packers rushing has struggled as of late. And if the 49ers win and if the Rams beat the Buccaneers, you never know, man. 49ers Rams rematch after that amazing game in week 18. Beautiful, beautiful matchup in the NFC Championship. So the Niners could very well upset the Green Bay Packers because 49ers rushing attack. If you stop Deebo Samuel, who's rushing, don't forget he can pass on trick plays, but don't forget his receiving. And then Elijah Mitchell, amazing rookie, 6th round, I believe. Like him in the 6th round, George Kittle in the 5th round. The Niners have a huge eye for talent. So don't ever count the Niners out, especially with the rushing attack that they have. And with that, that covers all of the NFC divisional round games. I hope you enjoyed my takes on each of them. Make sure to tune in Monday after all the NFC playoff games are done, because now we are going to get NFC and AFC championships next week. Obviously, I'm going to post an episode on Monday and Friday. Episodes at the start of the week on Monday, like I said, and then at the end of the week on Friday. So tune in on Monday after the set of NFC and AFC divisional round games. Hope you guys have a great weekend watching football. Peace.